Hey my lovely YouTubers, welcome back to my YouTube channel with your girl Morgan Tracy J. And actually right now I'm sitting at my computer and I'm going to be answering a question that I just got from one of you ladies in the comment section. I'm going to be answering it right now, okay? So ladies, if you have not already subscribed to the YouTube family, make sure you go ahead and do that, boo. And also you turn on that notification bell so you're part of the notification squad until you always know when I upload. So today I'm talking to you about how to go from a 9-to-5 to full-time ministry. And I'm going to take you from the start of the very basics, okay? Like the very first thing is, boo, if you don't have a plan, you'll never leave your job, okay? This is just plain and simple. If you don't know your gifting, if you don't really know your purpose, if you have not made a decision and taken full responsibility for whatever it is God has told you to do, if you have not done that, boo, those are the first things you have to do. So let's say, for example, if you have a gift and you know you have a gift, but you don't think it's that great, and so you just kind of lay it to the side, then this video is not for you yet. You need to go ahead and take time and build that gift and decide that this is the gift that I'm going to focus on. Now, honestly, for me, I have multiple gifts. I have a gift in photography. I have so many different gifts out here, guys, honestly, but the gift that I purposefully got attached to and ran with was speaking. And as I've worked on my gift of speaking, my other gifts have got to get utilized too, right? And so I want to tell you, don't think because you are focusing on one particular gift, the other gifts have to not be focused on. No. They will come in and they'll all work together for your good and for the good that God has for you. But you do have to focus and you do have to pick something. And so I will say, if you have not already picked something and taken responsibility and said, you know, God, you gifted me with the gift of writing. You gifted me with the gift of speaking. You gifted me with the gift of leadership and business. And I'm going to run with that and I'm going to focus on that. If you have not already done that, then that is your first official step before we even get to talking about full time, because that is what you've got to do first. So like I said, if you do not have a plan, you will never leave your 9-to-5. So you have to already have a plan. So that's step one, is create a plan to help you leave your 9-to-5. I will tell you, up to 8 months ago, even after I had 50,000 subscribers, I was still working my 9-to-5. I have been working at 9-to-5 since before I launched my YouTube channel. I launched my YouTube channel in 2015 and I just left my job in 2020, okay? So with that being said, boo, it has taken me years, but even when I was working my little half-in jobs I did not want to do, okay, waitressing low-key, working here low-key, being a janitor low-key, I always knew I was working towards something bigger than where I was at. Even when I was cleaning up things and being a low-key janitor up about 1.5 years ago, I knew when I got home I was going to be working on my vision. I knew that the janitor position was just to make sure my lights stayed on, but God was going to sustain everything else. He is taking me somewhere because I had a vision. And so that's what I want to tell you, is you got to have a plan. And you got to quit looking at your 9-to-5 as something negative, because it's not, boo. Because honestly, my 9-to-5s have blessed me with a lot of things you see today. Honestly, up to 8 months ago, I had a really great job and I was so grateful for that job, and it provided a lot of income to help me invest in cameras, invest in microphones, invest in new software, editing equipment, pay for my domain for my website. There was so much greatness that have come from me working 9-to-5s, okay? And so that is why I stuck with the 9-to-5, because it still helped my vision flourish. Now, I will say, if you're someone like, Morgan, how did you work a 9-to-5, go to college and all that, and still work on your ministry? How did you get to this place? Guys, I didn't try to do it all at once. I didn't wake up one day and say, now you got to work on this thing every single day. No, I took small steps. I always talk about it in a lot of my content, but I call it the top 3. I always challenge myself to do 3 things a day. That's what I started to do. But before I even did that, I challenged myself to do 1 thing a day. I told myself, no matter, before the lights go out, before you turn the light off, you got to do 1 thing towards your vision today. I challenged myself that in college, and now I do it all day, every day. So it's changed a lot. But in the beginning, I would just make myself do 1 thing a day towards my vision. I think I heard that from like Dr. Miles Monroe or somebody years ago. And honestly, it stuck with me. It's like it got imprinted in me. And so I would always be either writing blog posts, thinking of new content, thinking of a new graphic. I always made sure I did 1 thing a day towards my vision. And boo, you have enough time to do at least 1 thing a day towards your vision. If it's just writing down ideas, that could be your 1 thing. If it's prayer journaling about what you want to do, that can be your 1 thing. But I honestly did that in the beginning. So that is kind of how I got the momentum to get myself in the position to now work it and be working my 9 to 5, but knowing my schedule. If you're a part of my membership, then you already know kind of how I structured my 9 to 5 schedule. If you were part of that, you've known things. But if you're not a part of my membership, that's okay. I'll share a little bit here, because what I did is I made sure every Saturday was my recording day. So I knew by Wednesday night, I knew the outline of the video. I knew by Thursday, I was writing them blogs. I knew by Friday, I was walking through the video. This is after work, when I got home from work. Friday, I would walk through the videos. So when Saturday came, all my cameras was charged, my lights were ready. I would set up Friday night. So by Saturday, when I was ready, I already knew what I was gonna wear. I would sit down and I would record as many videos as I could. I would change clothes to make it look like different days, or sometimes I would change jewelry too to make it look like different days, but I would record my content on Saturdays. That is how I did it. I would be editing throughout the week. So if say Sunday night, I knew Monday morning a video went up, so I knew Saturday, Sunday night, I need to be editing. I knew probably Tuesday, Wednesday, I need to be getting back into the rotation of my next videos so I could get back to editing, right? So that's kind of how I did it. And honestly, I will say it's the work. And that's what I'm going to lead you to another tip, is it's about putting in the work, boo. I always put this on my Instagram, work, boo, because it really is. That is how you show God you have faith. If you're never willing to put seed in the ground and start working that ground and working that soil and putting nutrients in that ground, you're not going to reap a harvest. And I honestly believe that. I believe I can put all the faith there, but if I never show up with action, I'm not going to reap that harvest. My action is a part of my faith. Me saying, God, I believe you gave me this gift. Now I'm going to work on this gift is my action. Now I'm going to put the gift out there is my action. Now I'm going to invite someone to help me with this gift is action. Now I'm going to go look at other people who have the similar gift and see how they have expanded and see how I can expand. That's action. Boo, that's action. And so that's kind of what I would encourage you to do, is work, take action. The next thing is, boo, you got to pray about where you're at. Something I will say is, for me, I was ready to go full-time up to about a year before I went full-time. But the big key was I had to pray about that season. Truly, guys, when we are working for ourselves and doing things on our own, we can just up and do whatever we want. But when you're doing things for God, there's many times God sends you places on assignment. So I remember I was going to go full-time, and I had quit a certain job, and right when I was quitting the job, they offered me a whole nother higher position, better paying job. And I remember feeling like, it's a good job, I want the money, but I don't necessarily I'm ready to go full-time. But I truly felt I was on assignment by the Lord. I felt like I was on assignment for that next position. And I took that position, only worked there for about 8 months, 9 months. But truly, I had an assignment that I had to fulfill at that position. And that assignment opened my eyes. It makes me even better today in my ministry. It makes me have more heart for people in poverty and things like that, because I grew up in poverty. And so that was a really great, and it was a good assignment for myself. And so I want to encourage you with that, is pray about where you're at, and don't just leave a job because you feel like it's time. Pray, because you never know, boo, you may be at that job on assignment. The next thing is, boo, before you leave your job, you have to replace your income. Now, some people can come against me on this. They're like, no, Morgan, if God said leave, leave. True, I agree with that. I agree with that. However, I do believe that God gives us wisdom, and he knows personally, if I'm going to be stressed out, if I'm going to be over here focused on finances and trying to only make money, then I don't leave room for God. God walks out because my stresses and worries are in the way. But when I'm at peace and I'm at rest and I'm flowing in his spirit, that's when he moves powerfully through me. So I don't believe that God would want to put me in a stressful situation like that where I cut off the flow. Now, I will say God will test us. That's different. But honestly, from wisdom, I realized that I needed to replace my income. And so at that time, my job was paying me anywhere between $2,500 to $3,000 a month, something like that. And so I knew that's how much I needed to replace for at least 3 consecutive months to leave my job. And I think I did it for about 4 or 5 months because I got scared to leave my job. But that's what I did. I replaced that income. Now, you don't have to replace everything. You don't say, oh, I got to make $10,000 a month yet. No. I just replaced my income. And I realized, hey, if you can replace your income just working really on the weekends, how much more can you make if you work all through the week? That's kind of why I went full time. I realized there was a lot more growth for me, and I could see that there was no cap off on my income. It could continue to soar. And so that's why I went full time, but I first replaced my income. And last but not least, boo, I gotta say this, it will not be easy leaving your full-time job. Like, I know it looks exciting and people are like, yeah, I left my 9 to 5 today. But there's a lot of fear in this, and there was a lot of fear for me. I remember asking God before I even left, like, what if my rent doesn't get paid? What if there's a month I don't make the same amount of income that I've been making? What if there's a lagging month? This is a pandemic at the time too. So I was like, God, why would I leave a job during a pandemic? Like, there was so many questions I had, and there was so many fears. But truly, guys, when I did it, it was scary, but it was also liberating. I remember being so afraid inside, like shaking when I turned in my 2 weeks notice. But I remember feeling so empowered that I knew I was moving on to something bigger, and I faced a fear. I faced the fear of leaving my 9 to 5. And I think that was such a wake-up call. And so I will say it will not be easy, boo, when you're officially time to leave. But you will know it because God will let you realize that where you've been, your assignment is complete there. And that's how I knew my assignment was done. It became harder and harder to get up for work. It became stressful and more stressful. The job began to get heavier and heavier. The way it once felt, a few months ago didn't quite feel like that. And also too, my income, I had not only replaced my income, but my income was even doing even better outside the job. Like it was doing really good. It was making more money than my job. And so I was just like, you know what, I gotta dip. But anyways, that's kind of how I went around my process. And those are just the basic tips on someone getting started if you want to go from a job to full time. But really, boo, if you're working that 9 to 5, it's a blessing. It's beautiful. It's a lot of work, but guess what? Put in the work. Because if you never have a plan, you'll never leave your job. But if you have a plan, boo, you'll leave that job. Even if it takes a year, if it takes 2 years, you'll leave that job. Period. It might take 6 months, girl, you will leave that job, okay? So never doubt that. And I'm over here getting all hyped because it's been 8 months. I ain't looked back yet. Income kept rising. God is so good. And so, like, the more I talk about it, the more I get excited because your girl really is out here doing it. And I knew God told me to do it, but I honestly was so used to growing up in the struggle and growing up and just being an adult too, growing up, going through and having financial issues, not able to pay my insurance, not able to pay this. Being an adult with that struggle, like to not have that struggle, man, it's a blessing. So like, before I make this video 15 minutes long, let me get out of here. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. And I just wanted to answer that question, how to go from a 9 to 5 to full time. I hope I answered that. Comment down below your biggest takeaway, or if you have any advice, if you're wanting to go full time or working that 9 to 5. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.